What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pub Sports Radio Baseball Show. My name is Jose Bouquet, and of course, I'm joined by there's so many names, so many names. The Ian Anderson to my Max Fried, the one that comes off my head. It's Andrew Santangelo. Andrew, how you doing?
Man, you just had to pick a Braves combo.
Yeah, because
Yeah, that.
they've shoved it down our face, Andrew.
No, I'm doing all right. Another day in paradise. Just got done a nice little test, my exit exam for grad school. So
Hell yeah, that's exciting. When are you gonna get the results?
I said about 3 weeks, and then you gotta defend it. So
Okay, good. I mean, I can't wait. As you guys might be able to tell, it's the baseball playoffs. Round one is in full swing. There's actually games going on as we speak. Currently, we're going to timestamp the podcast if you're listening to it a little later. If you're listening to us live, shout out to you guys. But it is currently the top of the seventh for the Oakland A's and White Sox decisive game three, and it's 6-4 A's. But the White Sox are, in fact, threatening. So
let's go A's.
it's going to be interesting to see how this ends. I mean, this game has been going really long, so who knows if it'll end during the podcast, but we'll see what happens. Let's start, Andrew, from the top. Well, let's start with the two top seeds, actually, to get those out of the way. Is that all right with you?
That's fine with me. It's
Okay, let's get these two quick out of the way quickly. Then the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays, they played game one, game two. Result was the same. The Tampa Bay Rays really took care of business, swept them out of there in two. Blue Jays, thanks for coming out. You guys had a great year for what you were coming into the year believing, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Andrew, what are your thoughts on that series?
I mean, we said the Blue Jays were kind of a surprising team this year, and I think eventually that luck's going to run out. And you saw it run out in this series as they obviously went against one of the best teams in the MLB as a whole this year. It didn't seem like the Blue Jays had the bats going. Obviously, facing one of the best pitching staffs in baseball, from starting rotation to the bullpen, you can honestly say top to bottom, they might have the best pitching overall in the league. And all they did was go out and prove it. From Blake Snell dealing on Tuesday afternoon to Glasnow dealing last night, and bats took care of the rest. I mean, once once the Rays get one in the first inning, you knew the Blue Jays were in trouble. And then they followed the sixth spot in the second inning there. It was like, okay, you pretty much knew it was over. With that Rays pitching, you weren't going to get much out of them. But I think it was pretty disappointing on Ryu's his end. I think Toronto, he was a big offseason pitcher acquisition. I think you expected more from him in a big spot there.
Yeah, same. He had a bad outing, and the thing that really solidified it was Hunter Renfroe. Fun fact: hitting the first Padres grand slam in their history. Uh,
Rays.
Rays, Padres. Yeah, I have the Padres on behind because I'm looking at Preston Ekdal's comment of telling Fernando Tatis to get his head out of his ass tonight because the Padres are down, and we will talk about the Padres here soon. But the Rays do what they needed to do, get it out of there. They have 4 days of rest now, so they're just back up to the top of the order for their pitching staff. So it's going to be fun to see everyone well rested. Dodgers win game one. Kind of shaky at first, but they distanced themselves. Not that bad of a sweat if you're a Dodgers fan, but they've got Kershaw tonight to close them out. Andrew, do they close out the Brewers tonight?
Yes, they do. I don't have much faith in the Brewers there. I mean, it'd be cool to see a baseball standpoint to see them extend it, but I mean, Kershaw's an excellent pitcher. I think we'd agree it's a big mismatch here in the series between these two teams. I expect. I mean, when you're the MVP of last year, hitting sixth in your lineup, like that's just insane. There, I know was struggling compared to last year, but still, for them to have enough depth where they can move him down the lineup down to six, like that's just incredible in itself. And then you follow that up with Kershaw and then Kenley Jensen to close out games. It's just a tough spot for the Brewers there, especially when they're missing two pitchers there as well.
Yeah. No Corbin Burns. They would have had a chance with him on. But Woodruff tonight versus Kershaw, he's no slouch. But it's just the offense. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I appreciated Kelly Jansen, by the way, looking good. He's had some struggles recently, so I'm glad to see that he is. Maybe this is his postseason to shine. I hope it is. But do you have
Him and Kershaw.
I know, right? We need a good playoff Kershaw. Please let this get off this back, because I really want Kershaw to be the World Series champion. He's the best pitcher of our generation.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing: if you'll be able to tell after tonight, because I think whether Kershaw pitches a gem or he kind of gets beat up a little bit, I think Dodgers still escape with the win, because I think their offense will back him up. But you'll kind of be able to tell what Kershaw you're going to get this playoffs by this game. I feel like, because if he struggles against this Milwaukee team, those signs of the previous years will start creeping back in his head, and it'll bother him, especially. They'll go up against the Padres, Cardinals, too. Obviously, very good teams there. So it won't get any easier for him. So if he's able to get that confidence, pitch a good game tonight, get some of those playoff woos in the back of his head there, and kind of forget about him, you might get some good outings from him in the future. But if he comes out tonight and struggles, that's going to be the reoccurring topic.
Yeah. And if you're watching the video live and you're asking why I keep looking to my left for some reason, it's because the TV is over there. So I'm just checking in to see the score and make sure that we're not talking about anything that's not real anymore. But
Jake Diekman got out of it.
Shout out to Jake Diekman. Nice slider on Jake Diekman, I believe. But the Brewers, good effort. You're surprised to get in here. But thanks for coming out, Milwaukee Brewers. Now, Andrew, I'll let you pick the next series, because there's a whole heap of them, and they're all pretty interesting. So you tell me where you want to go from here.
This is tough, because there's two I really want to get into, and they're both from the state of Ohio, because they both disappointed us tremendously.
Yeah.
Let's start with Cincinnati.
All right, the Cincinnati Reds, man. We boasted about them. We were really high on them. We said the pitching staff was going to be incredible. The pitching staff was incredible. The pitching staff literally, I don't think they could have pitched any better, even if they wanted to. Trevor Bauer. Single game postseason record for the Reds, 13 Ks, incredible. They lose a 1-0 ball game in the 13th inning in the longest scoreless game in postseason history. They lose on a Freddie Freeman walk-off single in the 13th. No runner on second rule, by the way, which I'll ask you about later because I think I have a hot take on it. But they lose that game, and then they get blanked again in game 2. They lose. What was the final score? 5, I believe.
5-0. Yeah, Castillo went 5 1/3, gave up 1 with 7 strikeouts, and then Iglesias came in and gave up 3 earned, 4 unearned. 3 earned, 4 total in a third of an inning.
Yeah, man, it's brutal. Even Castillo gave you everything you needed in that game. They had runners on. The Reds did. They just couldn't bring him in. Fucking Joey Votto telling us all that this team was a nightmare and he loved this team. Nick Castellanos had hits, but no one was on base. No one on this lineup hit at all, and it's so frustrating because that pitching staff could have brought you somewhere. But now the Braves, who are flat out incredible, if we're going to be honest, the Reds are a good ball club. We said they were going to go far for a reason, and the Braves making it look this easy is really impressive for the Braves. And I think that they are the number one counter now, the number one opposite for the Dodgers.
I'm not going to disagree with that completely. I will say careful on the easy word there, because, the Braves, yes, on paper they have the bats, but top to bottom, their bats didn't look too good as a whole in the series. You mentioned it yesterday. It's not like they went out and hit the ball a ton. They were in a 0-0 game into the 13th inning. I'd say, yeah, their pitching was very impressive, don't get me wrong. And then today, again, because the starter shuts them down for the majority of it, only gives up 1 run. It takes them into the 8th before they get some of the runs, and part of it was due to a lot of walks and then an error that kind of gave them the extra mile there to keep going in that inning. So I'd be careful on how easy they made it look. I'm not going to say sitting here, if you're an Atlanta fan, be worried, but I'd say their offense has been kind of quiet lately. And I know, obviously, again, they got great names on paper, and I expect it not to last too long, but I'd say their offense wasn't all that great. Their pitching obviously carried them here with 22 scoreless innings in these 2 games. So it's an incredible job by the pitching. Shout out to Anderson making, I think it was his first career postseason start, right? And he was nothing short of just dominant in today's game. So shout out to him for not letting that kind of big moment kind of get to him there. And then you kind of rely on your acquisitions. And Will Smith, probably the best reliever in the offseason last year. They went out and signed him early on. He gets the job done with 2 strikeouts in an inning, and then your trade deadline acquisition last year in Melanson, he gets the job done there in the 9th, and pitched a scoreless inning yesterday too. So that Braves pitching was very good, and obviously if their hitting starts picking it up, they're a very dangerous team.
Yeah, I have faith in their hitting. I have faith. They have potential.
They got 2 MVP candidates. I was just saying, careful on the word easy is all I was saying.
Hey, I thought it was pretty easy since I was a Red better, and I knew if they got people on base, I knew they weren't going to come through. There were so many times they left runners on base, and it was really frustrating. So frustrating to watch the Reds.
That was the most frustrating part. Was they had so many chances. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Obviously, Fried pitched really well, got out of the jams, but I think the Reds had a runner on 2nd and 3rd in the 2nd inning. Then they had 2 runners on again in the 6th, the 7th. I think the 9th and 12th as well. And then they had a rally in the 13th, and you knew eventually he was going to catch up to him. I mean,
yeah, it was insane. It was ridiculous. And I guess good job, Sam, because he told us the Braves would win this series, and here he is. He picked the favorite and he won. Congratulations, Sam.
I'm not letting him off the hook here. I'm going to call him out here. Can you really brag about your pick when one of your World Series teams is knocked out in 2 games? Careful on the bragging there.
Who was his World Series team? The Indians?
He said Dodgers over Twins.
Yeah, good. Let's I guess let's talk about the Twins now. Let's talk about them too, because they really disappointed us as well. I think we were the most confident of our pick of Twins Astros. We thought that this Twins team would roll this Houston Astros club. They're terrible on the road. The Twins had the best home record. They had the pitchers. We thought they had the hitters, but it turns out there are higher powers at play here, and the Twins have now extended their record 18 straight postseason losses. They take a 2-game sweep. They lose to the Astros. Astros advance. No one wanted to see that, but now here we are. Carlos Correa is talking shit, and this Astros team, they looks like they got a little bit of mojo now.
Yeah, I want to talk about what Carlos Correa said eventually when we're done talking about the series as a whole. But, I was very disappointed in that Twins offense. I understand you're missing Donaldson, but you still have really good names in there. You should have got it done. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a Zach Greinke fan, so you face a good pitcher. But the thing is, they chased him out of the game early there. Greinke only went 4 innings, and Don't get me wrong. I know Valdez had a good year for the Astros for the most part, but you let him come in and shut you down for 5 innings. You only get 2 hits in those 5 innings. He comes in. I'm talking about game 1 here, if you don't know about that. And then in the 9th inning, you have a chance to get out of it, keeping it at a 1-1 game. You'll go into the 9th, possibly extras to have a chance to walk it off. And it's a routine ground ball. And Plonk, I guess he just rushed it, but he throws it away. And then Sergio Romo comes in and he walks in the winning run. It was
and that's how you knew. Yeah, that's how you knew it was over. It was ridiculous.
It's just come on now.
and game 2 was equally as bad because, again, the only person on the Twins' whole lineup that came out was Nelson Cruz. Nelson Cruz, he had his RBIs. He was there. Everyone else just basically was non-existent. It was so just depressing. Game 2, they lose 3-1 to the Astros. Berríos pitches well, too. Berríos pitches really well. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, but 2 walks really cost him. Kyle Tucker kind of hits a little fist bloop single, scores a run, and then later in the game, Carlos Correa goes bomb. He goes up. I think that was 2-1, and then Kyle Tucker with another late RBI goes 3-1, and we just kind of, there were base running mistakes too, not to mention I think it was Byron Buxton who pinch ran, came in, got picked off before Sano could even take a pitch when he was on first. I think there was a guy in third as well. And it's just, the Twins they just twinned, Twins gonna twin.
Yeah, and I got to get on him a little bit here, too, in Eddie Rosario. Trust me, I understand it wasn't the best call there on strike 2, but you can't get ejected there. You already know your outfield's shorthanded. You know you're dealing with that. And nothing against him. I don't really know him well enough to know what kind of prospect he is. But you have a guy making his first career start in game 2 of an elimination game, so you know how thin the Twins are there in the outfield once Buxton didn't start there, and you see him pitch run and everything. So you already know how thin your lineup is there, and I get it. It's going to be frustrating there, but I think at the time of his ejection, I think it was a 1-1 game. So, You can't afford to do that. And I get it. You get caught up in the moment and stuff, but the ump kind of let him go a little bit when he was arguing after that strike two. You saw him give him multiple warnings there, and then you swing and strike out. Listen, again, I know it was frustrating because it should have been that strike two on the swing, but you just got to eat it at that. Like you can't start yelling at the ump again. The moment you yell at him again after two warnings, you're going to get ejected. You got to be smarter than that in that situation.
Brutal, absolutely brutal there, and it just, they just kind of rolled over at the end. They just kind of knew like it's just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. The Astros take these games pretty comfortably. I'm not going to lie. They didn't look great, but like I said, at the end of game two, they started talking a little shit. Starting to get a little bit more comfortable. They realized, like, oh, it's the postseason. We're not going to get any more fastballs 95 in the back because they're not going to give up base runners anymore. All this stuff. And guess what? Ended the first under 500 team to advance in the playoffs ever. And now that the Astros have this, again, looks like the A's. Looks like the A's next round, which is a nice AL West showdown. And exactly what A's fans want. They want to exercise these demons. These teams don't like each other. I'm excited to see it. But do you have any final thoughts on this series, Andrew? On the Minnesota Twins, I suppose?
Not on the Twins, but before we move on from there, I want to get into Correa's quote.
Oh, okay.
So for those who don't know, his exact quote, starting the quote now, was, "I know a lot of people are mad. I know a lot of people don't want to see us here. But what are they going to say now?" End quote. I'll tell you what we're going to say. We're still going to say we want you out of the playoffs. Nothing changes. Just because you won that series doesn't mean, oh, you didn't cheat. You didn't cheat back then.
Fuck yeah, we beat the Twins. They've lost 18 straight playoff games now. Guess what? We're badasses. Shut up, Carlos Correa. Shut up. Nothing you can do will make us not like you less or whatever, like you more. There's no chance. And you saying stupid shit like this now, it's just, all right, well, another year talking shit about the Astros and Carlos Correa.
Honestly, that's just going to trigger more people. So now you're just going to have the same people and more people kind of going on your back, kind of want you to lose now as well. And
yeah,
if they make it, I mean, I think I got to give them the if there. If they make it to the ALCS, they're going to start allowing fans. So that'll be a little interesting.
I would be absolutely livid. I'd be so livid, but we can talk about that at the end of the podcast real fast. Shout out to Razor Sharp who's watching. He locked Cardinals run line plus 1.5 at -135. Hope that hits for you. Like the Padres, backs against the wall, but no pitchers. So we'll talk about that series later. We will skip over the White Sox and Oakland right now because that game is still going, like we said. And let's go back to Ohio. And really, the series that really hurt my feelings the most, I think. The series that really bothered me the most and is in the AL, it is the New York Yankees advancing over the Cleveland Indians in 2 games. Really, the first game was just a shit kicking, and it surprised both of us, I'm sure. Shane Bieber comes out, Triple Crown, all this stuff. 4 pitches in, it's already 2-0 Yankees. DJ LeMahieu hit, and then Aaron Judge comes up and it hits the first ball he's hit solid in the whole year, I guess. I don't know. And comes out, hits his home run, and then the Yankees just pile on. Garrett Cole has a pretty good outing, does his thing. They get an easy 12-3 win in game 1, and then game 2, game of the playoffs so far. Back and forth all night last night. But the Yankees prevail with a 9th-inning runs on the most annoying of DJ LeMahieu hits. Oh, my God. It was so annoying to see that. But they win 10-9. Brad Hand gets the blown save. Andrew, I'm sure you're as disappointed as I am about the Indians.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a constant listener to the show, outside of the Phillies, there's 2 teams I really defended throughout the year, and it was the Cleveland Indians and the Oakland A's. We'll see what happens with the A's. But the Indians here, I mean, first off, Brad Hand, 16 for 16 in the regular season. We talked about it multiple times, how he's been one of the best relievers, how he led the MLB in saves. And he comes in there and blows that save. And honestly, DJ shouldn't even have the chance to bat. If Brad Hand would have fielded that, I know it's a tough play off the mound there.
It's not. You know what, Andrew? It's really not. It's not a tough play. That ball, It's right back at you. It hits you in the glove. Just fucking catch it and throw it to first, Brad Hand. You're out of the inning. It's so annoying.
You're out of the inning. Yeah, you still blow the save, but you're out of the inning, and then you have a chance to walk off there in the bottom half of the inning. But, I mean, overall, I mean, you just look at the entire Indians bullpen. Like, I'm going to call out all of them. We talked about it, how good the Indians bullpen was this year and stuff.
It's so annoying.
And don't get me wrong, Carlos Carrasco didn't have his best game. He gives up 4, gets taken out after 3. But then the next guy comes in, he gives up a run. Then the following guy, he comes in, gives up a run. The next guy gives up 2 runs. You get one guy in between that gives up 0, and then you get handed with the blown save. But like that Indians offense kept battling and got you back into the game. Got you back into the game there. You took the lead there in the 8th inning, and he should have been able to hold down. I mean, shout out to who was it that made that fantastic play in the bottom of the 8th to prevent Urshela to stop the Indians rally there, because if he doesn't make that play, the Indians are going to get more and they're going to get insurance runs. But
incredible diving play at third. If it wasn't for Matt Chapman, he'd be winning Gold Gloves.
I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, and not only that, he saves the game in that sense, and in the defense he put up there to prevent the Indians from scoring more runs. And he went 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs in the game as well. So shout out to him for a fantastic game there. I think all of us wouldn't have expected him to kind of get that MVP of the game in that sense. And I mean, he stepped up big time there for the Yankees and got the job done. But ultimately, yeah, very disappointing showing there from the Indians. Especially, I was disappointed in Shane Bieber. I mean, I know you just touched on it, but again, the AL Cy Young winner, like, he's not going to lose it after that game. But the AL Cy Young winner, he's going to get it. We all know it. Possibly MVP candidate, like you've mentioned multiple times, and he comes in and just does that. I mean, and even after the 2-run home run, it was like, okay, there's still a couple first inning. Again, I think the announcers might have mentioned, and I kind of thought of it too, when in that game where Corey Kluber was like his first start. They give up those 2-3 early runs, and you settle in after that first inning, you just dominate the rest of the game, giving your offense a chance. But absolutely not. He got torched that game.
It's so frustrating. The most annoying part, game 2 was a great game to watch if you're a neutral. It was not fun if you were betting on the Indians. But they go up 4 early. They have this whole saga with the rain delay. The pitchers come out, they throw an inning, but then they have to delay it. Rain, it's a fucking monsoon. It's kind of surprised they're playing. 45 minutes, they come out. Masahiro Tanaka and Carrasco come back out to pitch. Kind of surprised, but, I guess it didn't really affect them. They give up their runs, but whatever. 4-1, the Indians led. And then they pull Cookie with the bases loaded. Gio Urshela at the plate, and they bring in James Cherenchak. Cherenchak? I can't say his name correctly right now, but he's awesome. He's one of my favorite relievers in baseball. Wild thing. He has the haircut. He does the whole thing with his shoulders. He wears 99, and then fucking 3 pitches in, throws a fastball at the knees that Gio Urshela just fucking grooves out of there for the lead, 5-4. That was the first holy shit moment of the playoffs right there. I just want that documented, but it's so annoying to see that with the Cherenchak coming in, grand slam, and then Tristan McKenzie, who we talked about, love him, make another home run, and it's very frustrating. But the Yankees, man, if the lineup is back, they're all healthy. This is the team that we saw the first part of the season, and man, they're dangerous now.
Yeah, and I just want to say this as well. I mean, you got to give credit to the Yankees on the plate discipline, but boy, the Indians gave them so many chances too. Like you shut down until that 9th inning. DJ LeMahieu 0 for 4, Aaron Judge 0 for 4. Like their top hitters weren't actually getting hits that game, but the problem was you were gifting them base runners, and if you keep gifting the Yankees base runners, they'll eventually catch up to that. I mean, you're the Indians. Carrasco 3 walks, next guy 2 walks, next one 1 walk. 2 walks, 2 walks, 1 walk, 1 walk. Total of 12 walks for the Indians there. You can't afford 12 walks. And honestly, even if you're not playing the Yankees, you could be playing whoever else you want to play. You give a team 12 walks, you're most likely not going to win that game.
I mean, come on. It's the Yankees, the Bronx Bombers. They literally live off the home run. You give them a home run. I feel like the whole game was just 2-run home runs back to back because everyone was down 2. The Yankees were never really down, actually. They were down at one point and they could come back immediately. But it was always like Yankees up by 2, and then the Indians manufacture 2 runs somehow with with Josh Naylor dominating the first part, and Sandy Alomar taking him out. We all freak out.
Yeah.
His pinch hitter comes in, hit the double off the wall. We're all excited, and then just like a walk and then a bad pitch, bam! The Yankees take advantage. They take the lead again. It's just so demoralizing. And then, like I was said at the beginning, the DJ LeMahieu RBI to win the game in the ninth inning was so annoying. It was just a ball hit right back at Brad Hand. He gets out of the way, and it just like takes like 7 bounces to get out of the infield. No one can get there. Guy rolls in, and then the Yankees are advancing, and Yankees-Rays round 2 is going to be exciting, but man, it's just we were very, very disappointed in the Indians' performance.
I know, without question. Man, obviously we'll break it down before the series starts, but in that series, you're more looking forward to the Rays pitching or the Yankees hitting there? Because we all know that's going to be the story is which one prevails, the pitching or the hitting.
You know who I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the Yankees pitching. I want to see how that shit holds up. Because, Garrett Cole pitched good, fine. The Indians were one of the worst offenses in the postseason. Whatever. We bet on them. We thought they would win. So congratulations to them. Now you're playing a Rays team who is just notorious for just cranking out these runs somehow. They always find a way to get runs. They don't have a superstar on offense, but they all can kill you with a home run or just repeated singles. Can Tanaka keep pitching well in the postseason? This is his last season, probably on the Yankees. He's going to be a free agent. Maybe he comes back. Who knows? He needs to keep pitching well to get his free agency up. We didn't see the Yankees game 3 starter. The Yankees don't have a game 3 starter is the issue. This is why we did not pick the Yankees, I assume. They're going to start J.A. Happ.
I didn't say if I had to guess it'd be Happ.
Or Devi Garcia. You know what? That's trash. That is garbage. And I think the Rays can really take advantage of that. I think the Rays, bare minimum, they can't let the Yankees take the first 2. And that sounds stupid to say, but, they have to take the first one or the second one. And I'll be excited to see that series. We'll have a full comprehensive breakdown on it later, but it's a second round series that I'm excited to see.
Yeah, no, without question. Without question. I think it's important. Important to note that series because it could be one for the ages there.
Really, it's a 5-game series too. So
I know the struggles the Yankees had against the Rays, but it would surprise me to see it go 5.
Okay, fair enough. Next, Andrew, are you feeling some Cubs or are you feeling some Padres? What are you feeling?
Real quick, I want to touch on Sam's comment because the Indians were AL Central.
Forgot about that. Is the AL Central overrated?
No, I don't think so. I understand what just happened in the postseason, but if you look at what happened last year, the Twins won over 100 games. The Indians won 96, I believe, and missed the playoffs. And both teams basically ran it back with the same lineups. I don't think they're overrated. I think they're still really good teams. White Sox made a lot of acquisitions, and I think a lot of people picked the White Sox to be a dark horse this year. And White Sox are battling right now with the A's, one of the best teams in the AL. So I don't think the Central's overrated.
Hilarious that all these Central teams are about to get kicked out, though. I agree with you. I mean, you might have gotten a little bit of record boost because they got to play the Tigers and the Pirates. So maybe and the Royals, a little bit of a boost there. But I think this is still one of the better divisions of baseball. So, next series, Andrew, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk Cubs or Padres?
Let's go Padres before that game kind of starts there. And since the Cubs got delayed today or postponed.
Did it officially get postponed? Okay.
Yeah, it's postponed into tomorrow with Sixto Sanchez versus Darvish.
Big game. All right. So
since I think Cardinals are about to have first pitch, let's talk about that one.
Yeah. So Cardinals Padres. Would you say this was the most surprising Game 1 result?
If the Cardinals beat up on Clevenger or Lamet, I would say so. But to me, it wasn't too surprising to see him beat up on Chris Paddock. He's been so up and down this year. I think. If Cardinals, I feel like are an offense where if they're clicking, they're clicking. But if they don't pick each other up, they all got to be on together. And yesterday was a day they were on. So I think when you kind of saw that on the early going, they got off to a great start in that first inning. It didn't overly surprise me because of Chris Paddock, but I'm not trying to take anything away from St. Louis. But I just think to answer your question in that sense, that's why. Honestly, I kind of like Davies here. He might be a little better than Paddock at times. I like his consistency a little better. So if the Cardinals come out duplicated today, that would be a little surprising. So I'm just interested to see what happens. But I'm going to say San Diego extends the series.
Okay, wow. So you're hoping that Razor has a close game then, I guess, Andrew. He has 1.5, so hopefully they can stay within that 1-run margin. But yeah, the Cardinals win 6-4 the first game. The offense kind of did its thing. Paul Goldschmidt homered early. They kind of scratched across runs. The Padres offense wasn't bad. They had a chance to tie the game. Fernando Tatis was up at the plate. They had a chance, but he can't come through. It's the series right here. They have this game coming up here soon. Zach Davies. I mean, Lamet's not going to pitch until next series, probably. I assume. I don't think.
Yeah, him and Clevenger didn't make the roster.
Yeah. So who knows what we get there? I don't think we'll see Clevenger next round either, to be honest. Even if we get that far. But I don't know, Andrew. I think the Padres are on the ropes, and I think it could be over for them as much as we like them. I'm worried. I don't know if the offense can keep up.
I get it, but
Wainwright's great. Wainwright
is great this year. He's great this year. But again, I think Davies' consistency is a little better than Paddock's. I kind of like him to come out and throw a good game, and I think if you can hang around with Wainwright here and there, I think eventually you let the offense catch up to that as well. And I mean, listen, we've been down that lineup before. They got a solid lineup. They got Fernando Tatis. They got Manny Machado. I mean, Hosmer's having a good year. I mean, they got bats as well. And it's not like they were quiet yesterday. I mean, I know they didn't end up winning the game, but they went out and put up 4 runs, which isn't a horrible.
They had chances.
Yeah, it's not like the Cardinals went out there and just shut them down. I mean, they scored 3 runs in the first 3 innings. The problem was they just couldn't ever get more than 1 in an inning. They got shut down once they got the one. So I think tonight you might see something, I guess tonight you might see something different. You're going to get those same chances. You just got to perform a little better with those guys in scoring position. And I think it's going to be I'll say like similar to yesterday's score. Honestly, just in reverse. I'll go. I'm going to go 5. I'll go 5-4 Padres win.
Sweaty, very sweaty win.
Trevor Rosenthal gets a save against his former team.
The issue, did you see Rosenthal yesterday almost explode? The Cardinals, man, they know Trevor Rosenthal better than anyone. They know they'll just fucking sit up there and take pitches all day until he. But I hope the Padres do win. But I think the Cardinals have got this, Andrew. I think the Cardinals take this game tonight. And I've been wrong about every fucking thing, Andrew. But I think the Cardinals take this game, and I think the Dodgers' path just keeps getting easier and easier.
Okay, I don't know about that argument though. Like, if the Cardinals win, you can't really sit here and say it's that much easier.
I can. I can. I think the Padres think they're just as good as the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers have a mental edge over the Cardinals, though.
Cardinals got better pitching right now, though, with the Padres missing their guys.
Who knows? I don't know.
Right? I mean, wouldn't you agree with that, though? With the guys that
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm saying they need to win. But I still think if you match everything up head to head, the Dodgers will be better in everything. And if the Padres advance, you still have a chance to seed Lamet. And maybe Clevenger's not as hurt as he seems,
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. I'm excited to watch that game, and we'll see how it plays out.
We'll see. Shout out to Bloodthirsty MMA. We're not football guys, but do not pick the Jets. Do not ever pick the Jets in anything.
Hey, they got Crowder coming back tonight, man.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Last series. Go ahead, Angie. You have something to say?
No, I was going to keep going football for a little bit, but we can just move on.
No. We're not talking about the Jets and the Broncos.
I was just gonna say Denver's down to the 3rd quarterback, so it should be interesting.
I will not be tuning into that ball game.
Whoa, you're a fan of both teams.
I will not be tuning into that ball game. That last series that we I guess still not going on because we're still at 6-4, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th for the White Sox. They have 3 outs left for them. Cubs Marlins. Was this the most surprising result of the game ones? The Chicago Cubs offense again, they've been struggling all season. They Everyone was worried about it to begin this postseason, and they get blanked again by the Marlins. They lose 4-1 or 5-1. Ian Happ was the only one that came with his bat. Sandy Alcantara, man, I thought he was going to get shelled, to be honest. He comes out, pitches great. Corey Dickerson hits it's Corey Dickerson. For some reason, I wrote Brian Anderson for some reason earlier. Why the fuck did I write that? But Corey Dickerson hits a 3-run shot. That really breaks the game open. That perked everyone up. There's like, oh, the Marlins. And then we believe in Jesus Aguilar hits a 2-run home run to put the nail in the coffin, give them a 5-1 game 1 victory.
Yeah, I was surprised in the quiet bat. I know they've struggled a little bit this year, but I thought the Cubs would come out and have a better performance there. I think Hendricks pitched well for the most part there, got a quality start. I know obviously it's the loss, so you want him to do better, but he gave you, he went to the 7th, I think, before they got the runs? Yeah, so it gives you 6 scoreless innings. You expect the Cubs to kind of add more there, but you let the Marlins hang around. And, you see it all over sports. When you let the underdog hang around like that, they just wait for that one moment where they power through and take that lead and don't let it up. And that's what you saw in this Marlins game. We mentioned the Cubs bullpen being in a shaky spot there. Once Hendrick gives up that 3-run home run, they turn to the bullpen, who gives up 2 quick runs there. And I would say, again, I'm more surprised about the Cubs kind of coming out here quiet, because it's not going to get any easier in game 2.
No, absolutely not.
If I was just
the Cubs or the Marlins line this up perfectly. They put out their game 2 starter game 1. They sneak it out, and now they've got Six Toes Sanchez waiting in the wings right there, who seems to be the ace. And this will be the real test. We'll see how legit Six Toes is here.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. One, it's obviously his first start in the playoffs, so will that get to be too much? And then 2, what Yu Darvish shows up? Is it going to be the Darvish that dominated, that looked like a Cy Young winner throughout the most of the season? Or is it going to be the Darvish that kind of let the Cy Young slip away? And the Six Toes are going to be able to outduel a really good Yu Darvish. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be fun to watch. I expect it to be a pitcher's duel pretty much throughout the whole game, and we'll see what happens. But if I was a Chicago fan, I'd be pretty worried about this, because I know I don't know how many of them have got to see Sanchez pitch this year, but he's a phenomenal pitcher. And we'll see, because if he doesn't let the first playoff nerves hit him, then it's going to be a tough day for the Chicago hitters.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And Andrew, remember, the Marlins are undefeated in the playoff series, man. They're undefeated in the playoff series. Go Fins.
They are. If they do it this year, that'd be incredible. That's for sure.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
It is.
I love it, though. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. I hope this Marlins team does advance, but I think the Cubs win tomorrow and force a game 3.
Okay.
I think it's Six Toes. 3-4 earned runs for Six Toes.
See, I'm gonna go the opposite on you on this one as well. I'm gonna say I think the Marlins get it done. I want to see the Cubs win, but those Cubs hitters just did not look good at the plate the other day, and I think Six Toes is gonna come out dealing. I don't see. I think he'll let the nerves get past him, and I think he'll have a sensational game there for his first career start. And honestly, you look at a lot of these other guys. We didn't really talk about it, or I guess we haven't gotten into that series yet. But so I'll wait. But the job that the pitcher we're about to talk about in his first career start, we've saw a lot of good first career playoff starts these last couple of times.
Luis Castillo, as we mentioned earlier, first career start. Ian Anderson, first career starts. Both absolutely shoved.
And maybe it's because of the weird year. Maybe it's without the fans. It just feels like another given start, almost like Little League out there, or like just travel ball, rather than having the 40,000 plus fans out there, and which obviously I think provides more nerves for those pitchers because of obviously the energy, the noise and stuff. And you're just out there pitching in front of a fanless Wrigley Field. So, in this case it will be. Maybe that helps him. Maybe that keeps him calm, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think Sixers is going to come out and get it done.
All right, good. We'll be excited to see that. It'll be a fun game to watch no matter what happens. Let's move to our final series, who it is seemingly wrapping up here in front of us. We've got 3 outs left, like we said earlier. For the White Sox have to come down. They're currently down 6-4.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
A's go back to Liam Hendricks. That kind of surprised. He threw a lot of pitches yesterday.
He threw a lot of pitches, and not many of them were good yesterday.
So I'm surprised he's able to go again today. But I'll tell you what, his emotion throughout his appearances are funny. Like you could tell whether he's throwing strikes or balls, he lets it show, and that sometimes isn't a good thing for that pitcher.
Yeah,
and there you go, leadoff single for the White Sox.
That's it. He's already let a guy off. That's interesting. Well, let's talk about this before we get walked off on or something, Andrew. Game 1, White Sox, they come out. Tim Anderson told Bob Melvin not to start a lefty. He specifically told him not to do it. They were 14-0, I believe, 13-0, and now they're 14-0. Jesus Luzardo doesn't pitch bad per se, but it's the postseason, so he gets touched up a little bit. 3 earned run through 3 innings pitched, not what you want. They get a 4-1 victory. Lucas Giolito pitches pretty well. Well, I mean, pretty well. He was almost perfect through 7 innings. So 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks. I believe this was the other postseason debut you were referring to, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shoved, nails, incredible. Just absolutely incredible. It might be one of the best. I think he might be the best pitcher left standing in the playoffs right now. Well, I mean, might not be standing for much longer, so.
Wait, repeat that statement.
He might. I think I was going to say he might be the best pitcher left standing in the playoffs, like best number 1 pitcher. But as fans might be watching, I'm not sure if he caught that foul. Oh no, it was foul. But yeah, they're teetering right now.
I don't think I can go that far, but yes, he's definitely up there.
All right, and then the game 2 must win for the A's. They come out, they get the 5-3 win. They score 2 runs off an error in the first inning, which kind of propelled them forward. Marcus Semien hit a home run. Crush Davis hit a home run. It's close. It was close. They made it a little closer than it had to be, but we got through. And now game 3, as we stand, 1 on, no outs, top 9. Oakland up 2. Andrew, who is? Let me see. Actually, let's do a little screen share since we've talked about all these playoff series. Let's see how this the bracket sits right now. Who is the team that the Houston Astros do not want to play? Would they rather play the White Sox or the A's?
I'd say they'd rather face the White Sox. I think A's won the division. I think A's. I don't know the series total, but the A's probably won the season series against them. Yep. So I think here the Astros want somebody fresh. I understand that you can make the argument where the White Sox have the better bats there and might have the better starting pitcher out of the two. But again, I think with the recent history of the two teams and the way the A's kind of won the regular season, if I'm the Astros, I want a fresh team, a team I haven't faced yet, rather than a team that we're obviously familiar with, got into that bench clearing incident that happened. So obviously a lot of history between these two teams. And so if I'm an Astro, I kind of want they're kind of a new face there rather than a repetitive face, because I just think the A's might have their number this year.
Yeah. I think it is going to be the A's. That's what it's shaping out to right now. The Astros did lose the season series. The A's are a little brother to them in this division, and I think the A's will be really motivated, and I'll be very excited to watch that.
Oh, yeah, without question. I mean, and what's crazy, if the A's are able to pull this off and do it without Chapman, I mean, it's a pretty good sign there. But if the A's hold this off, just sorry to say them in advance. I know you're going to hate that series, A's versus Astros, but
yeah, who refused to tune in? Andrew, before we get into the full Week 2 breakdown, we'll get into that on a Saturday, a special Saturday edition of the Post Sports Radio Baseball Show after we've seen all the series wrap up. What is the second round series you'd be most excited for?
I think, depending on the way it plays out, I think I'm really intrigued by the Rays-Yankees series. We'll see what kind of happens between the pitching and hitting. Like, they're kind of two opposite teams there, where the Rays kind of heavily rely on the pitching, and the Yankees obviously rely heavily on the hitting outside of Garrett Cole. but which it's going to be which side prevails there, and I'm interested to see, do the power arms beat the hitters, or the hitters kind of come out and show the Rays? Because I'll tell you what, if the Yankees put up the runs they put up this series, I don't think the Rays are going to be able to match that throughout an entire series. So I do like the Rays in this series, and I like the way the Rays are going to go there, because I think the pitching ultimately will win here in the playoffs. But I got to go with that series in the AL. And then an NL, Dodgers-Cardinals is intriguing. We've seen them in the playoffs before, so we'll see what happens.
That does not sound intriguing in the slightest.
Why?
Because we've seen it before. I think the Dodgers would just roll over them. We've had a Luis Roberts strikeout, regrettably. Liam Hendriks just gassed him up. And now I believe that is Nomar Mazara at the plate with man on first, still 2 outs. White Sox postseason hopes on the line. Andrew, let's quickly, before we head out of here, I want to know who your most disappointing first-round team was.
Sorry, repeat that.
Who is the most disappointing first-round team for you?
I'm going to go with – it's tough because the Indians got upset while the Reds kind of lost to the better team. But I'm going to lean Cincinnati because of the fight. At least Indians went out there and battled and made that game interesting and had the kind of back-and-forth battle there, and they didn't really quit. To come out into the playoffs and not score 1 run, to me, that's more disappointing in that sense. You wasted a very good Trevor Bauer outing. You wasted a good Luis Castillo first career postseason outing. So not being able to put up a run in 22 innings, to me, that's more disappointing than what happened to the Indians.
Yeah. I'll raise you your Cincinnati Reds, and I'll put the Indians in front of them. They made trades this year. It didn't really. I guess the trades, were a net positive because they had Naylor come up and do what he did, and Clevenger's out for the Padres. But they made the trades. Lindor's 1 more season closer to leaving. Jose Ramirez is back to being an MVP. And Shane Bieber might not ever pitch as well as he pitched this year, and they just kind of let it slip through their fingers. The Yankees used their magic, and they did it. They just went right through. Twins should be kicking the too.
I will say this though: you can make the same case for the Reds. They go out and sign Moustakas, Nick Castillos, and
Bauer's leaving.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned that. I will say this: I don't know what Bauer's going to do. But I don't think Francisco Lindor is on the Indians to start 2021.
I don't think so either.
Do you think Bauer's back in Cincinnati after what happened?
No, I don't think so either. No, I think he goes somewhere else. Sam wants to know if the Yankees, the Rays Yankees series being in Petco Park, does that have any effects? No, because they would be playing in the Trop regularly. If this was in New York, then I would say yes, but as long as we're not playing in New York, we're fine.
I will say that slightly helps the Rays. Petco is a bigger park, so don't get me wrong. Obviously, the Yankees have the power to hit it anywhere, but with a slightly bigger park, that's advantage to the pitchers. And if you're Morton, Glasnow, or Snell, you can give up that single or double because you can get out of it that other way, where in other parks it would be a home run. So is it going to be a huge effect? Maybe not, but if I have to give an advantage, it's a slight advantage to the Rays.
And the Oakland Athletics advance.
Is it official?
It is official. Liam Hendriks let out a big-ass roar and a yell. He gets the K of Nomar Mazara. I think it was looking. I didn't
Yeah, I was looking. It just happened on my TV. I'm behind.
But looking K, White Sox and disappointment. We're going to have some fun series to break down here, Andrew. We'll invite good old Sam Wise to our Saturday session, and we'll break down round 2 of anything. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we head out of here?
It's going to be interesting to see what happens if because of that postponement. If the Cubs do extend it, they'll have to play a Saturday game. So we might be talking about that game live as well, depending on what time we roll on Saturday. But do you know when that next round starts? They have a date for it?
Tuesday, I believe.
So they are giving them time off then? Okay.
Yeah, if you swept, you get 4 days off. But I believe they start Tuesday, Wednesday. So, and then like we said, remember this is All these next games are in the bubble. They're all in either Petco Park, the Dodgers, Houston, or Arlington, I believe. So will be weird seeing that. But shout out to the MLB, by the way. We mentioned this, but selling tickets to these playoff games in Texas is fucking insane. Do not do that. Do not let people into this goddamn event. We've gone so far, and now we're not. What are we doing? We're gonna have players in bubbles. Why are we letting fans in the stadium?
Well, the thing is, when you see that the Cowboys are letting fans in, and you're going to play games in Arlington, the same same place. I know it's not Dallas, but it's obviously pretty close.
I mean, that's the reasoning behind it. That's their reasoning behind it. When the fucking NFL shouldn't have fans either, but whatever, fuck that.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying that when you have one sport letting them in, you're going to try to make up some of that ground.
Oh, brother, Andrew, I just got a quick switch over to ESPN.
Yep, I got that.
Oh, the St. Louis Cardinals are up 1-0. Men on the corners are already top 1, 2 outs. Zach Davies needs to get out of this earlier, but damn.
So I'm just gonna retire from prediction. No,
oh yeah, I am. I've retired from predictions and gambling. So I'm very glad that we got that out. Davies gets out of it, but not before getting one run touched up. So shout out to the Padres. We'll see what happens there. Shout out to our man. I believe it was Razor. Razor has them 1 + 1.5. So hope you get that, Andrew. Do you have any plugs before we head out of here?
Just check out my other podcast at ANYP Phillies, Philly_sports now, and True Philly Sportcast. You can catch me on other Philly sports podcasts there and get the latest Philly news.
Could you give me a one-word summary of your feelings of Doc Rivers?
Love it. I guess it's 2 words.
2 words, you dick. Well, thank you as always.
Amazing.
Yes, great. Good job. That's better. Thanks as always, everyone, for listening. Go pick up some Pub Sports Radio merch. If you miss a live show, don't worry, never fear, because we post our episodes on podcast, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Check us out there. We've got a bunch of shows tonight. We've got a little film room tonight. We've got a little horses. We got a little Thursday night football. It's gonna be fun, Good luck if you're watching Thursday night football over the baseball tonight. No one fucking cares about the Jets or the Broncos. So
watch some baseball.
Yeah, please watch some baseball. By the way, Andrew, I'm rooting hard for the Jets to win tonight. Really want the Broncos to keep tanking.
You make no sense.
Need the Broncos. We're already here.
Think about that. Think about those words. You're cheering for the team you left.
Yeah,
I want those words.
I don't want to get Trevor Lawrence. If they get Trevor Lawrence, I'm going to kill myself, Andrew. Goodness. Thank you guys.
I'll tell you what. Sam Darnold could be good if they just got coaching help and stuff. Like, it's a shame what's going on with him.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not saying he's going to be better than Trevor Lawrence, but I feel like if he puts in a different spot, he would be a little better.
Yeah, well, when the Eagles bench Carson Wentz here, they'll probably trade for him.
Thanks
as always.
We're beating the 49ers.
Mute button, Andrew, and thanks as everyone for listening. We'll catch you guys on Saturday. More baseball to be broken down, and it's going to be fun, guys.